How did we meet?
How long has this got to be?
We went to middle school or junior high together, and high school, and we hung around the same kids at parties, but not necessarily on a regular basis. Probably just on the weekends. He would be at the same parties I would go to. He would be doing the bad boy stuff, and I would be in the corner in another crowd, being still there but not doing the bad stuff.
My senior year in high school is when I was really attracted to Tina, and she was different.
That was actually at the end of our senior year.
It was at the end, but I knew in some odd way that we were supposed to be together, and I was determined to make that happen, and so I literally chased her.
I didn't really have much interest in Kurt. I remember thinking, oh, he is so cute, but I could see the red flags, and they were true red flags. And I realized as a Christian, that the Lord tells us not to be unequally yoked with somebody. And I knew he was not, which is so interesting. But yet I saw he was seeking God. And I know there's a verse too that says when you seek him, you'll find him. But I didn't realize it would take 20 years for him to find the Lord. So, that was probably not, I kind of moved the verse around for what would work for me. Well, I know he'll get it, but I thought it'd be, in a few months he'll get it. But that wasn't the case. But we ended up getting married, and I did love him, obviously, at that point, and love him very, very much. But we had some hard things that, we were starting off with.
I drank, I worked, I drank, I worked. The alcohol and the drug abuse was a big problem.
Kurt actually went, this was many years. It was for 20 years of our marriage. So, and it wasn't just drinking here and there. He was pretty much drinking day and night. He would wake up at like 5 a.m. and be drinking. I went on with the kids and just did our life. Not really, he would just be passed out at the house every day, all day. It came down to a point, Kurt had actually went through rehab probably 10 times. So there was a lot of that back and forth, and he'd never stay sober more than maybe a couple weeks. And at that point, me and the kids moved out of the house and moved in with my mom, left Kurt at home, and he was so bad that at that point I was very concerned that he was dying, which was the case. And I didn't want the kids to see that, out of love for him and them. Our divorce was coming final. It took quite a while. And at that point, he finally moved out of the house. He tried to quit drinking. It was in May of 2007. He called me on the phone and said, hey, I'm going to go to my mom and dad's house and try to dry out. I said, great. But I just left it because the Lord had been very clear to me kind of to leave him be. So he went, and he didn't drink after that, but physically his body was shutting down and it wasn't healing. He was in the hospital through the summer of 2007, and the doctor said he had 3 months to live. It's like he still didn't get it. He didn't even realize how bad he was. And he was in the hospital one of those days and finally came around, and he had some words with the Lord.
I said, take me now. I said, take me now. Threw my hands in the air and take me now. And it was that easy. And I knew internally my heart had changed.
And he called me on the phone like 3 days later, and he was in the hospital, but I could tell his voice had changed. His whole countenance had changed on the phone. And immediately I knew, oh my gosh, he's going to live. And he gets it. He's got it. He's a changed man. I literally knew that on the phone, 100%. And I remember thinking, oh crap, because I had mourned his death. I had truly mourned his death. And then I was like, oh, now what do I do? Lord, I did not see this coming. I was like, I didn't see this coming. But I'm like, he's changed. I mean, it was obvious, and I never looked back. I never looked back and questioned it. As soon as he had said to the Lord, I give up, his body started to heal, pretty much starting that day.
I was happy. I was dating my wife again. We were holding hands. We were going to movies.
And that was interesting because our divorce actually was final about 2 weeks after this all happened, where he had finally gave up and surrendered to the Lord. And I questioned, should we not finalize the divorce, or should we? And I know this is probably, I was like, well, crap, I paid for this thing, I'm going to go through with it. But yet I was like, we were already starting to learn to be with each other again, and we didn't know each other that well. I mean, it's interesting. We've been married for 20 years, but we really, because he had always been not sober for so long, and I had went on with my life, and he had his own life, so we had to learn and decide to be together. So we dated for about a year and got remarried. It's been great. I mean, God has restored
The best part,
things that we can't even imagine.
one of the best parts was the relationship with my kids again, on the right basis, and learning how to love them correctly, and to have them in the wedding and seeing transformation. It can't be possible without God's presence. You have to let him take the wheel. It just won't happen. Self-will has to be out of the picture. And if you have to fall, you fall. But he'll catch you. I was ready to pass. I was ready to go. But he says, I got more for you.
So yeah, we have Saturday nights, we have a couples Bible study or gathering. We've had now for like 8-9 years. And Wednesday nights, Kurt has a men's group here at our home. Both of our children are married and have grandchildren. These are things that we would not have had together without the Lord's healing. And I never kept questioning him through all these years, well, you did that, or blah, blah, blah. I forgave him. And I'm thankful because it sets him free, it sets me free. And our children don't have bitterness. It's a miracle, and it's because of God's word and prayer and staying the course. So it does work. We want to know.